But before we get into this event, for this much anticipated session, I would first like to introduce you all with our honorable guest of honor for today's evening. So it is an utmost pleasure to have one of the most distinguished professors as our today's guest of honor. And I consider it a very overwhelming privilege to introduce you all to Dr. Anisha Kaul, ma'am. And first of all, ma'am, thank you so much for taking out precious time from your very busy schedule. Dr. Nisha Kaul presently holds the position of Assistant Professor in the Department of English at Indraprasth College for Women, University of Delhi. Besides her ardent love for literature and teaching the profoundness and beauty of the world of literature, it is quite noteworthy to know that ma'am is also an avid writer and a very distinguished poet. The intricacies of her poetic expressions are appropriately captured in ma'am's one of the recently authored books, which is entitled They Have a Name for It. And the book is an exploration of a multitude of themes. So it was published last year in the United States, and the book delves into the themes of transgenerational trauma, exile, and genocide. So, first of all, ma'am, a very warm welcome on behalf of the entire GSTS family. And before beginning with today's talk, we would like to hear some quick introductory remarks from your end, along with the permission to initiate the further proceedings. So, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, first of all, for that introduction. And as we begin with this particular discussion that we have scheduled for today, I must thank the entire organizing team and, of course, Dr. Manish, first of all, for inviting me and putting up this great academic conversation platform together. And I must applaud all the efforts that you and your team has put on, sir. Thank you so much for that. And the topic for today's discussion, that is AI, deepfake, and the right to privacy, that was shared with me. And I found that it is of great importance in today's world. The scenario that one is living in, it has touched each and every student that I meet in my college, outside in the lives that we live on. And no one is in any way untouched by this very phenomena. And what one immediately gathers from deepfake is the fact that anyone, if you just talk to anyone, they would tell you that there is a manipulation of, say, suppose the audio or the videos or images that one uses using artificial intelligence or AI techniques. So with the upsurge of AI, is it that there is a, a certain also sense of fakeness that comes upon? And with that fakeness coming in, what potential misuse in various domains can it lead into? So is there a sense of misinformation also that gathers with the content that we're using? And as academicians, as students in various research platforms, this also poses a very important question that one has to address. And therefore, with the presentation, I am very hopeful that we would be able to discuss some of these points and also gather some insights into what has this led to and what will it lead to. So I am hopeful that we will address these issues, and I wish the very best to the presenter.
Uh, Thank you so much, ma'am, for your warm words. And we'll come back, to taking your valuable insights once the speaker concludes his presentation. So, as we all know that this rise of deepfake technology has raised concerns about these potential psychological effects on individuals and society as a whole. For instance, the ability to create highly realistic fake videos and images can lead to a loss of trust in visual media. People are becoming skeptical and they are questioning the authenticity of what they see, which has a significant impact on our perception of reality as well. Additionally, all these potential for deep fake to be used, it is being used for all these malicious purposes, such as spreading false information or even defaming individuals. So all this caters to this emotional distress, and it also harms the reputations of people. So therefore, it is very important for all these researchers, for the policymakers and individuals, to explore the ways to address these psychological impacts and find ways to mitigate the negative consequences of AI and deepfakes. So for this particular topic, which is much in vogue, we have Mr. Gaurav from Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, who will be enlightening us with the intricacies of these dark and malicious faces of internet, and also he will be suggesting some ways to secure oneself from any possible digital harm with his topic AI, deepfakes, and right to privacy. So, Mr. Gaurav, the stage is all yours, and very good luck for your presentation.
Thank you so much, Samriti. Before moving ahead with my presentation, I'd like to use this opportunity to thank GSTS for providing us with such a wonderful and great platform. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to Manish sir and team for their able guidance and help. I would also like to thank our guest of honor for today, Dr. Anisha Kaul, ma'am, for taking out their time for today's talk. I also extend my thanks to our principal, Professor Arun Kumar Attri, for his continuous support. And I would also extend my warm welcome to one and all and everyone present here. That being said, myself, Gaurav Kondinia from Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, pursuing BA program second year, is here before you to present on the topic, a very interesting yet important one, artificial intelligence, deepfakes, and right to privacy. Next slide. So we'll be starting with the objectives of this presentation first. So now continuing with the objectives, firstly, we'll be talking about statistics and including some of the statistical data, and then move into introduction of the topic, what basically the topic is all about. Then we'll be moving into some of the AI advancement in today's world, and then particularly focusing in depth on deepfakes and how privacy is much more important in today's paradigm. Then we'll be talking about various perspectives like ethical perspective, legal, and media perspective as well. Then we'll be having a glimpse into the future, talking about prospects and challenges, finally coming up with different sort of solutions and thereby concluding the topic. So firstly, let us start with some of the statistics. According to Statista, revenue from AI software market worldwide is expected to reach $126 billion by 2025. As per Gartner, 37% of organizations have implemented AI in some form or the other. The percentage of enterprises employing AI has grown by 70% over the last 4 years. According to Servian Global Solutions, by 2025, 90% of customer interactions will be powered by AI. So हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि AI का कितना इम्पोर्टेंस और रेलिवेंस बढ़ रहा है आज के दिन में, और फ्यूचर में इसको और भी बढ़ोतरी मिलेगी. अब हम आते हैं इंट्रोडक्शन पे. Firstly, let us understand what AI is. AI is a constellation of many different technologies working together to enable machines to sense, comprehend, etc., and act and learn with human-like levels of intelligence. What is deepfake then? Deepfake is a type of AI which is used to create convincing images, audio, and video hoaxes. Deepfakes often transform existing sources and also has the power to create entirely new original content. What is right to privacy then? It is a basic human right that serves as the basis for several other rights. Talking about from the Indian context, right to privacy is a fundamental right covered under Article 21 that guarantees right to life and personal liberty to every person, regardless of them being a citizen of India. Having talked about introduction, now let's move into AI advancements. Firstly, GPT-3. GPT-3 holds much more relevance in today's educational sector because it is developed by OpenAI and is a language model with 175 billion parameters. So a lot of permutation and combination that you can see. Then coming into computer vision, which enables digital images and classify objects, individuals, and actions. The recent developments include robots having perceiving human level performance in tasks like object detection. Now, the most important being AI in healthcare, which is very crucial and plays a critical role in personalized medicine, like assisting in designing the patient's treatment plans based on the recent health history and genetic makeup. Now, the most relevant from the Indian perspective is AI in agriculture, which helps to identify defects and nutrient deficiencies in the soil. AI bots can also help harvest crops at a higher volume and at a faster pace than human laborers. Then comes autonomous vehicles. हम आज के डेट पे सोचते हैं कि गियरलेस vehicles कितना अच्छा होगा या फिर कितना अच्छा होता है. Just think about autonomous vehicles where there will be no drivers at all. All you need is AI driving the car for you. That is what AI advancement is all about. In 2022, the revenue generated by AI India reached a substantial amount of 12 billion US dollars. In the 2023-24 union budget, Finance Minister underscored the imperative of making AI in India and harnessing AI for the benefit of the nation. In 2024, very recently, the Department of Telecommunications has introduced संगम डिजिटल ट्विन इनिशिएटिव, जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल प्लानिंग और डिजाइनिंग के लिए। जैसे कि हम देखते हैं आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एआई का रोल इंडिया में, जैसे कि कुछ अलग फ्लैगशिप प्रोग्राम्स भी है, जैसे कि एआई फॉर ऑल प्रोग्राम, जैसे कि एआई मिशन फॉर इंडिया, फासिली जो कि एक लैंग्वेज बेस्ड टूल है। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया has also taken important steps, like they have invested and helped 60 plus generative AI startups. So moving ahead to the next slide, now we'll be looking for understanding deepfakes and its rise. Firstly, let us understand how is a deepfake made. पहले तो आपका वीडियोस कोई कलेक्ट करेंगे, फिर उस वीडियोस पे एनालिसिस करेंगे किसको मैप करना है, which individual they are intending to target upon. Once that individual is mapped upon from a video, then that particular individual is being tested and the deepfake is done on that particular individual. Now, the very important and eminent part is that how to identify a particular deepfake. For a video, deepfake photo, there will be blurring around the screen, there will be blurring around the skin and hair, and there will be unnatural lighting present. We'll be understanding in the detailed aspect as to how later on. There in a deepfake video, there will be lack of blinking. There can be mismatch between audio and video as well. Now, in the recent, talking about the recent context, there has been a 84% rise in the number of deepfakes over the internet. So it is a growing and menacing problem at the particular context. Now we have understood that there are deepfakes like photo deepfake or video deepfake. There is also another deepfake called voice deepfake. Just imagine that your mother has called you up and asked for some personal information about your bank account. After 5 minutes, you get a call back from your mother saying it was not her that called you up 5 minutes ago, but someone else with her voice. So imagine the mental trauma you have to face after realizing that you have been deepfaked by a particular voice and all your bank accounts have been falsified. So that is how dangerous deepfake is. अब हम देखते हैं कि deepfakes generally किस पे यूज किया जाता है और कहाँ पे यूज किया जाता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इलेक्शन मैनिपुलेशन में, सोशल इंजीनियरिंग में, ऑटोमेटेड डिसइंफॉर्मेशन अटैक्स में आपका आइडेंटिटी स्टेक पे आ सकता है डीपफेक्स के कारण, जिससे कि आपको फाइनेंशियल फ्रॉड का सामना भी करना पड़ सकता है. Then you can be subjected to scams and hoaxes because of deepfakes as well. Then the most potent and most dangerous part is there can be celebrity pornography as a part of deepfake. Now let's try and understand in details as how to identify a deepfake. Moving on to the next slide. So these are two pictures. In the left side, it's Miles' picture, which is the original photo, and in the right side is the deepfake of Tom Cruise. So you can see, if you can clearly see that in the original photo, there is no blurring around the hair and skin, neither there is blurring around the facial part of the lower jaw. Whereas in the right picture, you can clearly see there is a blurring around the upper part of the hair and skin, and there is a blurring around in the lower jaw as well. Whereas you can see complete difference and stark in the natural lighting in the original and in the deepfake photo. So let us understand to what extent a deepfake can go with an example. Recently, a broadcast on a hijacked Ukrainian TV station barely a month into the Russian invasion of the country showed that the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, ordering the country's troops to surrender to Russia, which is definitely not the case. So you can understand to what extent deepfake can go to. A case study says that Nola Martin, an Australian woman, fell victim to deepfake and struggled with harassment for more than 6 years. She talked to the media to make people aware, including TED Talk. Her action gave birth to laws that make circulation for non-consensual intimate images illegal in Australia. So आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि कैसे डिफेक्स पे सब्जेक्टेड होने के बावजूद अवेयरनेस के कारण एक स्मॉल स्टेप के कारण पूरे नेशन को बेनिफिट हो रहा था उससे कारण. So to bring on a lighter note, let us now identify which of the following pictures are a deepfake picture. So obviously the third picture is very eminent, as we have all faced that because it became viral over the internet. But to be very surprising, on a surprising note, all 6 pictures are deepfake ones. So you can see that nobody is spared from deepfake. Even the Queen of England, the ex-Queen of England was subjected to deepfake. So even the famous personalities are subjected to deepfake. So you can understand that how common people might be subjected to deepfake at any point of time. While we talk about deepfakes, there are also some benefits associated with deepfakes. Like for example, saving time and labor in film industry because of its more efficient and cost-effective production of films by automating face swapping process currently done manually by VFX artists. They can be also used to educate people in a more interactive way. How? Historical people who are not alive today can be deepfaked, their voices can be deepfaked, and they can tell their own stories that could make it much more emphasizing, relevant, and much more interesting. While deepfake also engages with viewers or customers, and fashion industry uses this very example to the best possible way because they have virtual fitting rooms while you can sit comfortably at your home and taste the different clothes on your different attires on your body while sitting at home at your personal seat because of their virtual models available. So that saves a lot of time and energy. So we can see there are certain benefits of deepfakes, but there are multitude of harms and challenges. For example, there can be spread of misinformation. इस मिसइंफॉर्मेशन के कारण आपको ब्लैकमेलिंग का सामना करना पड़ सकता है. उसके कारण आपको आपके अगेंस्ट कोई वायलेंस कॉज कर सकते हैं जिससे कि आप फ्रॉड के बारे में भी आपको फ्रॉड का सामना भी करना पड़ सकता है जिसके कारण आपका प्रोटेक्शन या प्राइवेसी कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो सकता है. Once your protection privacy is compromised, then you are subjected to psychological problems like you face mental trauma, you face different sort of challenges. You also face your social image also is harmed because of which you have to face social problems. Having talked about that, now let us move on to the next slide and understand about privacy in this digital age, how important it is. For example, in this data, you can see that the millionaires or the decision makers, the policy makers are the highest percentage of people who do not trust online media streaming websites. So you can see if they are the ones not trusting online media streaming websites, how we common people will be able to trust them. That is where digital privacy is so much eminent and so important. What is digital privacy? It is a right that seeks to guarantee the protection of personal data of users who access a service through the internet. It must be ensured that the personal data of a person or a company that uses those means are not accessible to others without prior authorization of them. Personal data is the biggest enemy of privacy in this digital age. How? Let us understand through an example. आपने यूपीएससी के लिए एक फॉर्म फिलअप किया, उस पे आपने अपना डिटेल्स जारी किया, आपने अपना नाम, ईमेल एड्रेस वगैरह जारी किया. Do you ever realize that after some days you get emails, you get SMSs from third-party websites that is not relevant to you, that you do not know about it? But have you ever wondered that how those particular websites get your information from? They get those information from the form that you have filled in. That is how third-party apps access your forms. That is direct threat to your personal privacy. Now, why is privacy so important? It is because the compromise of the same in this digital age can lead to you being part of bullying or you being subjected to cyberbullying. Intellectual property theft can also be done. आपका आइडेंटिटी स्टेक पे आ सकता है. आपके सिस्टम पे, आपके कंप्यूटर के सिस्टम में once they enter the virus, then you were subjected to multiple harms, like your bank accounts can be accessed. Then the worst part is that those particular personal images being used for sexting or child pornography, etc. Moving on to the next slide, now we'll be understanding about some of the ethical considerations available in today's paradigm, like the black box problem. Now, what is black box problem? आज के दिन में machine learning algorithms को समझना बहुत difficult है हमारे लिए. That is why it hinders our ability to identify and address biasness within the system, within the machine learning algorithm that is already pre-existing. What that difficulty on understanding the biasness does, that it amplifies the existing social inequalities present in the society already. The biasness in algorithms can intensify those societal discrimination. So, उसके लिए careful development और mitigation strategy बहुत जरूरी है. उसके लिए गूगल का AI प्रिंसिपल और यूरोपियन यूनियन का एथिक्स गाइडलाइंस फॉर ट्रस्टवर्दी AI framework जारी करते हैं, but those are merely written documents. It's not necessary that those are implemented in that particular extent. So the best possible solution could be explainable AI, which is an emerging field aimed at making AI models more interpretable, which could address this concern. The question of artificial consciousness and potential future scenarios involving advanced AI systems also warrants ethical questions on the same. Now, do you ever realize that human beings are the ones who only has self-consciousness in this planet? Now, have you ever thought that once this self-consciousness is transferred to an AI system, how detrimental and how harmful that could lead to be? Now, what a responsible AI looks like is that it should be explainable, it should be monitorable, it should be unbiased, it should be human-centric. Now, moving into the next slide, let us understand about legal frameworks. इंडिया में आज के डेट पे कोई कोडिफाइड लीगल फ्रेमवर्क नहीं है और स्टैट्यूटरी रेगुलेशंस नहीं है जो कि डिप्लॉयमेंट और यूज ऑफ एआई को मॉनिटर कर सके या कंट्रोल कर सके. बस इंडिया में एक ही सेक्शन है, जैसे कि सेक्शन 469 ऑफ आईपीसी, जो कि जारी करते हैं फॉर्जरी फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ हार्मिंग रेपुटेशन, an IT Act that was introduced in 2021 for the identification and addressing of the issue of deepfakes. But unfortunately, these rules fail to effectively address the issue of deepfakes. Recently, introduction of Digital India Act and Digital Personal Data Protection Act in the year 2023 by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is the very next step to counter AI misuse and limit the dangers of deepfakes. Digital Personal Data Protection Act extends substantial rights to individuals and provides them with better visibility, awareness, decisional autonomy, and control over their data. Now, the legal rules or sanctions of some other countries include as the following, like Deepfakes Accountability Bill 2023 in the USA, the Cyberspace Administration of China, European Union's AI Act. All these rules, all these legal sanctions help to provide a better transparency into the system. Now let us understand what media literacy is. It is the ability to create, analyze, evaluate, and access media on various different platforms. Understanding the idea of and becoming conscious of confirmation bias, filter bubbles, and echo chambers are some of the benefits of the media literacy. Now, what is this? What does these terms mean? They basically mean that intellectual isolation that can result from personalized searches and algorithms that limit our perspective in this world, that limit the broader vision that we can be subjected to, that limits our growth, because that is where the AI focuses on increasing your attention span towards itself, bringing your need to you, thereby removing the different perspectives that you can be subjected to without it. How media literacy helps us? It helps us by becoming critically involved citizens within it. So next, moving on to the next slide. Now we'll be talking and visualizing the future and understanding the bright prospects as well as the challenges and dangers that it carries along. Firstly, talking about bright prospects, the future consists of more accurate diagnosis and better treatment outcomes in healthcare because of the AI in healthcare growth, because of the robotics that is involved, because of the accurate treatment and in healthcare that is being subjected upon. Next, the education sector will be most beneficial because of the more practical based and convenient approaches being undertaken, because of high-tech educational tools being available in the future and AI assisting the educational industry as well. Then comes fully automation transportation technology, where you don't need a particular driver. AI would obviously take care of all your needs. The most important and eminent part of this is better and enhanced security measures or features. That is what is missing in AI in today. That is why our privacy is at stake, and that is what the future promises upon. There will be strategies that will remove biasness within the system and incorporating transparency in its uses. The future privacy in digital age would be in particular aspects, like there will be rising decentralized technologies like the blockchain technology. Now, what is a blockchain technology? It's a method of recording information that makes it impossible or difficult for the system to be changed, hijacked, or manipulated. There will be enhanced AI-driven surveillance like deepfake attacks and protective policing. Public awareness and the push for more control with stricter laws like GDPR, which is General Data Protection Regulation brought in by European Union, and CCPA, Central Consumer Protection Authority, brought in by India. Then let us move ahead with understanding about the challenges and dangers lying ahead. Firstly, there will be increase in the unemployment ratio with AI replacing human resources. आज के डेट पे हम देख सकते हैं already unemployment एक बहुत बड़ा concern है आज के डेट पे. AI is only going to enhance those unemployment ratios in the future. How is that so? We can understand that by some particular data, like 14% of workers have experienced job displacement due to AI. May 2023 में 3,900 US job losses were there directly linked to AI. Sources like Business Insider and Forbes indicates that AI and automation has significantly impacted wages, causing up to 70% of reduction since 1980. So आप लोग देख सकते हैं सिर्फ job ही खतरे में नहीं है. In fact, the salary decrease is also a big concern. Also, another challenge lying ahead is increase in AI dependency and creativity degradation. Now, the more we are dependent on AI, the lesser likely we'll be using our own creative aspect to do something. And what that is likely to do, that is likely to increase our laziness, that is likely to increase our idleness. And once our laziness and idleness increases, that is likely to increase the lifestyle diseases that we are subjected today. Highly advanced AI landing into wrong hands could be catastrophic. आज के डेट पे हम देख सकते हैं कि कैसे एक रॉकेट अगर टेररिस्ट के हाथों लग जाता है कि how much destruction it causes. Just imagine the most potent form of technology, the most advanced form of technology landing into wrong hands. That would be detrimental to the whole society. There will be technological loopholes and lack of trust. Why do I say so? Because जितना भी bright prospects के बारे में हमने बताया, we don't know. They are just mere promises. They are building on it. We don't know how much percentage of that is going to be implemented. That is why there will be trust deficiencies even in the future. Questionable affordability of AI services. We know that technology is very expensive, and AI being the foremost of all technology is definitely not going to be affordable for all, which also brings about social disparities into the concern. Then the most destructive and most important form of challenge or danger that we can be talking about is uncontrollable self-aware AI. For example, the Black Mirror web series highlights how technology, if not controlled, can overpower and rule our lives. Just imagine that considering transferring artificial consciousness to AI, and those particular AI converts itself and makes another AI without the consent of humans, and that could lead to the human civilization in danger. So because of that, there are contemporary solutions being undertaken, and we'll be understanding how those contemporary solutions can help to reduce the same. For example, anti-fake technology and blockchain technology to prevent deepfakes. We have already talking about blockchain technology. Now we'll be talking about anti-fake technology, which is the uses of hologram and watermark packaging so that that your personal image or your particular video cannot be deepfaked easily. Other important aspects like Palo Alto Networks recently introducing Magnifier as a behavioral analytics AI, or Google as with its parent company Alphabet introducing Chronicle, which looks after cybersecurity data. According to the Insider Intelligence AI in Banking report, around 80% banks are highly aware about the potential benefits presented by AI. Like हम बोलते हैं कि जहर ही जहर को तोड़ सकता है. That is how AI can remove the problems persisting in AI. That is how AI can detect changes in transaction patterns and other potential red flags that can signify fraud, which humans can easily miss. But AI will not miss those, thereby saving business and individuals from significant losses. Aside from that, we can also better predict and assess loan risk through AI. Microsoft Video Authenticator and Facebook's reverse engineering helps detect different deepfakes available in the internet. So moving ahead, after having understood with the technological solutions, we'll be now understanding in the next slide about different sort of media and corporate responsibilities. Like Google Search presently has some guardrails like knowledge panels and feature snippets that flags deepfakes and AI modified content. MediaWise is a platform and a partnership which looks after teaching kids to differentiate fact from fiction, which is very important because kids are the easy targets of AI. It's very important to make them understand about its differentiating factors. Facebook and Reuters recently published a media literacy course for manipulated media. News websites like Washington Post and CNN have published interactive guides on deepfakes to raise issue awareness. University of Cambridge, a bad news game, has taken a gamified approach to be much more relevant and teach and learn about fake news and media. Having understood about this, now let us move on why awareness, education, and global collaboration is so important and how. Google has now teamed up with Indian government to address the risks like deepfakes and misinformation online campaigns, also known as synthetic media, at Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence GPI Summit, recently held in December 2023. Representatives from 28 different countries and European Union adopted the New Delhi Declaration of GPI Summit, which India hosted and will chair the GPI grouping in 2024. What is Delhi Declaration? It affirms that the country's commitment to principles for responsible stewardship of trustworthy AI rooted in democratic values and human rights. The National E-Governance Division, NEGD, partnered with Intel India to launch UI, that is Youth for Unnati and Vikas for AI, to help the school-going students classes from class 8 to 12 understand about the different perspectives of AI and empower them to become human-centric designers and users of AI rather than controlled by AI. Google donated around $1 million to the IIT Madras to set up a responsible kind of AI to learn about the biasness present in the system from an Indian perspective. Spot the Deepfake is another collaborative project that helps to understand about deepfakes in a fun, interactive manner. Now, moving ahead, having understood about the awareness and educational collaborations, to conclude with, artificial intelligence or AI is revolutionizing industries and solving complex problems, but it also poses threats to privacy and mental health. Ethical considerations, legal reforms, and other solution-oriented approaches that we have navigated throughout our presentation are crucial in balancing AI uses with human intelligence. The major question then arises is that what is the most notable step that we take it from here on? The answer to this question is fairly simple, yet extremely difficult to implement, which is to be cognizant of the harmful aspects of AI. We should be cautious with internet tracking mechanisms and analyze with what we see, believe, post, and search to avoid the biased perspectives and control customizations. हम देख सकते हैं कि AI का harmful aspects हमने बहुत देख लिया. अभी for a lighter note, AI का एक बहुत important aspect भी हम देख सकते हैं कि you can see my background. that is AI generated, for example. So with that being said, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gaurav. And well, that presentation was definitely an eye opener for all of us. Okay. And the topic being so contemporary, we frequently come across, a lot of facts and figures. We hear a lot about all these things. But this talk, that you gave, I think it immersed us into, much deeper depths and nuances of this malicious realm of, the digital world or the internet. So, with that being said, we would now move on to the question and answer session, which shall be about, which will be centered about around a few questions that have been posted by some of our inquisitive virtual attendees. So, we'll have a look at some of the questions. So, the first question is by Mr. Sharendra Rathod, and he is asking that as AI becomes more capable of independent decision making, how will we hold these systems accountable for their actions, particularly regarding privacy violations?
That is where I was talking about artificial consciousness. Until and unless we put on artificial consciousness within the system of AI, and we hold the ethical perspective of AI at a much greater height than other aspects, then we can be saved from the mitigate. We can be saved and mitigate the dangers of AI. But once that artificial consciousness comes into the reality, then it would go beyond our reach to help ourselves. That is where the government is taking the step to bring on the ethical considerations and also partnering with other important agencies to bring on better transparency within the system.
Right. So that means it is not just about knowing all these intricacies of AI, but also putting them into practice at a personal level in a way. Okay, okay. Very well answered, Mr. Gaurav. The other question that we have is by Miss Manvi, and she is asking that should individuals have the right to opt out of being profiled by AI systems? And if so, how would this be implemented? So, being profiled by AI systems, should individuals have a right on it?
Yes, definitely. According to me, at least, everyone is subjected to their own privacy. Like we talk about right to privacy that I mentioned in the beginning. That is featured in Article 21 in the Indian Constitution. That is, everyone has their own rights to of their own privacy. So they definitely have their own decision making, and that could be the solution is that the government, in particular aspect, working with individuals, taking their own, taking the individual's perspective as well as to how AI or deepfakes, for example, is impacting their lives. There should be proper monitoring every year so that this particular challenge does not arise.
All right, very well answered, Mr. Gaurav. We will have one more question that was put up by Mr. Siddharth, and he is asking that what do you think about these softwares like Pegasus and spyware in the context of right to privacy? So, what are your views on these recent softwares that we are, frequently listening about? So, yes, what are your views?
Yes, that definitely poses a threat to right to privacy. That is one of the aspects of AI. You see that AI is not everything harmful or AI is not everything beneficial. There are two particular aspects of the same coin. Like a coin has two sides, AI also has a particular side, both the sides. So that is where I'm talking about government agencies collaborating with multitude of news agencies and to spread the information, to spread awareness, and to work with better transparency programs, with better stricter laws available in the internet, like GDPR that I talked about being implemented by European Union and CCPA Act by India. That is where these spywares can be controlled.
Very well tackled, Mr. Gaurav. We have this one last question that is not by any particular individual, but by the entire GSTS team. So we would like to know about, your journey with the platform and how did the team help you and what was your experience throughout this research journey. So would you please highlight your experience before all of us?
Sure. My particularly talking about me, my experience with GSTS team, and GSTS has been extremely profoundable, extremely beneficial for me because I, personally, took this presentation at a serious, on a very serious note. Like I took it upon me that I need to give my best, and GSTS team and Manish sir and his team certainly help in every aspect for to get this realization, to make it true. There were certain deficiencies within my presentations at the earlier stage that Manish sir and his team and GSTS platform helped me to come out at a better light, to make a better presentation, and to include different perspectives on the AI as well. So it has been a very great experience for me and a dream come true to provide a talk at such a large platform. And also thank you everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Gaurav, for that marvelous presentation, for that wonderful question and answer round, and that to your initial years of graduation. So, you are still a very budding scholar, but you did a marvelous job with that. So, and also we are very much sure that this presentation and this experience will definitely provide you with more research centered aptitude, and you'll continue to, continue with all your research endeavors with utmost dedication. Now with a great pleasure, with utmost pleasure, I wish to invite our honorable guest of honor, Dr. Anisha Kaul, ma'am, again, to provide us with all her precious insights, suggestions, and remarks on Gaurav's talk and our platform as a whole. So, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Samriddhi. And to begin with, it was a very balanced and informative talk, as everyone also must be agreeing with me. And the fact that, as Gaurav also mentioned, that the suggestions that he had incorporated in the presentation was that you should make it a well-rounded one, that not just one-sided, but you can have perspectives of just not that the role of AI in the positive sense, but you also mentioned how it could be detrimental, how negative aspects could be there associated with deepfake or AI. So I really appreciated that within your research area, within your interest, that how you sort of balance the two. That if AI is having a positive effect within the healthcare system, but it is also having a little of the negative side wherein you have financial frauds, or you can also have, say, suppose a misinformation being propagated. So this, again, as I said in the very beginning, that this is a very major concern, that how do we look at the very idea of AI? Is it to be looked with a certain fear, that one has to approach it with a certain amount of fear, that it is to be kept at a distance and one is not to be engaged, or that everything related to AI is something that is going to harm us? So with your presentation, I felt that there was a awareness of the fact that it is to be taken with the pinch of salt, that not everything is to be judged as it is, as it comes to us. And the fact that everything, the potential misuse of the information that we as kids, as youngsters in our age of providing on platforms, has to be judged, that it could also inflict certain issues with the privacy that we want. Because when you open that Pandora's box, it is very difficult to control that later. Because as you know, that there are various platforms out there that could be using the same sources that you are citing, or the same information that you have once put. So I felt that the questions or the concerns that you were raising in the presentation, they are to be looked into. And as the presenters here, or the ones who are virtually attending this presentation, they would also be intrigued by your presentation. And I would suggest that this presentation of yours could also be developed into a standalone research paper, wherein you could also add a certain more of the ideas or certain research that is already being done, because this is a very good or a right time to present these ideas, not just within our own academic spheres, but also outside India. So that would be very beneficial for you at this very early age of your career, your academic career, of course. And then you can have collaborative effects. You can also talk out or reach out to your professors, or for that matter, to Dr. Manish and his team for further collaborations or further insights into the topic. So I think that you did a very good job on that. So thank you so much for that. And that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Also, ma'am, on behalf of the entire GSTS team, we would also like to have some of your insights and suggestions for the platform as well. So, if you could provide us with any insights and suggestions or remarks for this particular initiative, so we would extremely appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that I was invited to one of this um, online program, and I thought that okay, this has to be something that already goes on. But when I joined and I saw everyone was very much interested into the talk, and I felt that this is different from what already is happening in the academic sphere. So this was not just another coming together of students and then going away. They are taking back something from here. So that I think is a commendable job that the platform is doing, and Dr. Manish and you entire team is doing. So not everyone is just sitting here just for it, but they are taking away something from it. So a productive, a positive approach is, I suppose, that is leading this to the 155th talk that we are doing. And I hope that you continue with it and we have many more talks. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I hope that I come back soon with another interesting talk, another speaker some other day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for those valuable comments and your precious remarks. And we truly believe that Gaurav will definitely take up your suggestions and insights and she'll continue his research works, And once again, ma'am, thank you so much for your benign presence throughout this session. And it was a pleasure hosting an intellectual asset like you for this evening. So thank you so much once again. And we'll surely be very much happy to host you back again with another of our sessions. So, moving ahead with the further proceedings, we do know C.S. Lewis, who said that growth is the synthesis of change and continuity, and when there is no change, when there is no continuity, there is no growth. So, and therefore, believing in this ideal of continuing to provide an academic platform to all the graduates, to all the students out there. Hereby, I now invite and request the speaker for the upcoming session, Ms. Sreshtha, to inform us, about the intricacies of a interesting topic that is centered around the trading history in the Indian subcontinent, which is entitled in her presentation. The presentation being entitled "From Barter to Bots: India's Trade Evolution." So, Ms. Sreshtha, over to you.
Yeah, hello everyone. Am I audible? Yes, okay.
Yes.
Hello everyone, my name is Shresh Thatre. I'm doing a master's from Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics. And first of all, congratulations to the GSTS team for another successful session. And today's session was indeed interesting and insightful at the same time. For the next session, I'll be talking about the evolution of India's trade practices as Samriddhi already said, from barters to boats. That is, I'll be attempting to trace the evolution of Indian trade practices from a time when barter system used to be prevalent to today's times of robots and AIs. So the major agendas of my talk can be summarized as: first, I'll be tracing the evolution of trade practices. For that, I have dissected the trade patterns in 4 time zones. The first being the ancient times up to the 8th century CE, which was marked by the Saptasindhu Sabhyata. Then the medieval times of the 8th to the 18th century, which was highlighted by the Silk Route and the maritime connections. Then the colonial era of 18th to 20th century, and then the modern times where we are more focusing on e-commerce and eco-friendliness. Second, I'll be focusing on identifying some patterns, innovations, and disruptions in the trade patterns. And thirdly, I'll be highlighting the strong link of Indian trade practices with sustainability. That is, what was the eco-friendly techniques used in the ancient times to the today's sustainable practices that we call green initiatives. So all in all, it's a very interesting topic. So I hope to see many of you in next week too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shrestha, and we are definitely looking forward to that interesting talk of yours. It is, it sounds very interesting, and I'm very much sure that it will be another of our interesting sessions again. So, as we now confront with the conclusion of this particular talk and extremely knowledgeable session, it becomes obviously inevitable to admire the efforts of all the people who have contributed for this successful completion of this evening, and so hereby to acknowledge the ones who have endeavored to make this evening illuminating for all of us, I wholeheartedly hand over the stage to Dr. Manish Karmwar for proposing the vote of thanks. So, sir.
Thank you, Samriddhi. Before jump to the vote of thanks, I would like to invite a few of my colleagues from different college as we now because I'm having 500 seconds and though I'm not going to invest those 500 seconds to only vote of thanks. So maybe I invite few of my students and my senior professors. I'm looking forward to their quick remarks, not more than 30 to 60 seconds. I'm seeing Dr. Rajni Jagota ma'am from Professor Rajni Jagota ma'am from PGDB College. Ma'am, if you're hearing me, can you unmute yourself and give us any suggestion? Because Rajni ma'am is a very good author and she's from uh, commerce background. And our next topic from one of the commerce student they are going to do. Professor Rajni, want to say something?
Uh, Good evening to all of you. It was a pleasure attending the talk. Uh, the topic was of my interest also because in business law book I wrote quite a few chapters on Information Technology Act, and this topic was close to my heart. That is why I'm thankful to you for sending me the invitation to be a part of this, and congratulations to you for continuing with this endeavor. And you have come a long way, and you are providing such a great platform to the budding researchers, and you are doing a great job. Congratulations to you once again, and happy to know that next week we will be having a discussion on trade, from where did we start and how far we have reached, and from globalization to globalization. Like now these days it's being said that countries following protectionism. So to from where did we start and where have we reached, what has been the direction, and what have been the important points. We'll be looking forward to that discussion next week, and hopefully I'll be joining the same also. And congratulations to Anisha ji for adding value. And last but the most important part of the discussion, like I'm seeing that this anchor of yours has also come a long way. The way she is anchoring the event, it was a pleasant feeling to be listening to her. And Gaurav, you did a wonderful job, and the age at which you have started, that is remarkable. Like you will be doing a lot. And thanks again to Manish ji for providing such a great platform to all of you. And thanks again, Manish ji, for making me part of this event also.
It's my duty, ma'am. And Professor Rajni Jagota is one of the celebrated author in this university. So many books, corporate law, because I'm not from the
Yeah,
commerce
that is.
background. That is the one of the very celebrated book in the whole university. Every student they are reading these kind of this book, corporate law, and another ma'am first semester book. I'm just forgetting that name.
Yeah, business law, and then
Business
corporate
law.
law is by
Law.
Taxmans.
Yes,
And
yes, ma'am. Yes.
yeah, corporate law, that subject is very close to my heart.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining. So here, one of my old student from my college, Mandira Paul is here. If Mandira, if you want to say something, so quick remarks. Mandira, are you here? Mandira? Okay, so no issue. So right now we are having only 240 seconds. So my time starts now here. Okay, really first few minutes for my initial comments, because as I'm a teacher, so jump to the vote of thanks is not my fault. Okay, so I'm very amazed and very like happy when you use Gaurav use this word responsible AI. I'm thinking still we and our kids are not responsible, and we are going to give responsible AI. So this is in the like the a humorous aspect of AI. It's very difficult to create a responsible AI, because right now what's going on through the artificial intelligence and each and every field. everybody very quick to write. So in the future, it's all about speaking, speaking, speaking. So writing is one of the most important thing, because I'm looking in the deal rate, they are going to make out, or they are going to point out the 17% or 30% from the AI. So writing is now, it's going to very difficult job from this 2024 in the coming 10 years. I don't know about the other 10 years, because this the coming 10 years is very brutal for the writing, but speaking is the most intelligent act, and only human being has those potential. That's why we are ahead to anyone, the whole whole universe. We are ahead because we know how to present ourselves. So Gaurav, it's a really wonderful to listen to you. You are BA program second year student from Bhagat Singh College, and you beautifully depicted your ideas, and you beautifully arranged, because when we first met on Wednesday, usually we meet 3 times a week to listen to our speakers, but in the case of Gaurav, it was only 2 times. So Gaurav, you did a splendid job to give us a very nuanced idea about your topic, about the AI. You're a little bit fast, but it's okay. It's okay. You want to sum up so many things in 30 minutes. So thank you, Gaurav, for coming and for joining us. And it's my request to spread this message to you young students also from your college, from outside your college. So thank you, Gaurav.